Hi, my name is John Ihnotic, and I'm the DevOps manager here at GigaIO. Today, I want to give you a look inside of our CICD pipeline and show some examples about how we use the features of GigaIO FabreX to optimize our process. Now, in this slide, we have just a generic DevOps CI/CD pipeline. I've kept it generic just because it's going to be different for whatever your particular company's applications are. The part I want to focus on today in the use of GigaIO FabreX solutions is going to be mainly around the integration tests. Because of the hardware requirements in some of our larger applications, the integration tests can really flex the muscle of the GigaIO composability solutions. Here I've pulled up one of our automation racks that we have in the lab. We have multiple setups. This particular one is called Jupiter, and I've pulled it up because I think it is kind of our Swiss Army knife with multiple switches, multiple different I/O connections, some JBOGs for GPUs, accelerators, some JBOFs for NVMe OF storage, along with several different compute servers. But I think this best illustrates the flexibility that you have with GigaIO FabreX in terms of composability and utilizing that composability to maximize your use case when you're running integration tests or other applications. As you can see from the previous slide, we have quite a bit of hardware here in this automation rack, and when you add in filling up the GPUs and the NVMe OF storage slots, it's a significant investment. So one of the DevOps goals should be to optimize your use of that hardware. And so we want to maximize test coverage and CI availability, meaning I want to make sure that when a developer pushes a piece of code that not only am I testing it in our integration setup, but I'm running the right tests. And I also want to make sure I'm maximizing system utilization. So say overnight when we don't have a developer pushing code, we then fall back to running our sanity tests or our nightly tests or our full suite of tests. At the same time, you want to minimize both the hardware required overall, as well as any need for physical reconfiguration. And this last one is where we can really leverage some of the composability features and utilize the right I/O and the right devices when necessary, or conversely, not use them when we don't need them and take them out of the test configuration overall. So going back to our rack diagram, so for example, for our nightly tests, I have a 4-hour test that runs through the entire suite, running against all of our hardware, GPUs, and NVMe OF storage. And I also have a smaller sanity test that runs for about an hour in a smaller subset of test cases. But the developer is not going to be happy if they have to wait an hour after their last commit to check on the status of their code. So one of the great things that we can do here is, for example, a developer updates an NVMe OF storage driver. I can see where the code commit is coming from, and when I bring up this setup, only compose the NVMe OF storage. We're not running GPU tests. We don't need them. We don't want them to influence our tests. And so we bring them up, we run our tests, and not only can we run our tests, but I want to see those same tests run composed against a Gen 4 server, see the results, and then run those same servers composed with a Gen 3 server. And I can do this all in my automation suite, all with the same hardware, and all without removing a single cable from our setup. And one of the things I think that really ties this all together and allows for this level of automation is the fabric management allowed by the GigaIO FabreX system, and the fact that everything can be run via command lines or Redfish API calls. So as long as I can log into our management server and send command line interactions, that's what's driving the bind and unbind and composability of those I/O devices without any kind of recabling or other kind of interaction with the servers themselves. And that allows you to have maximum compatibility with the automation tools you already use or whatever comes out that's new. So for our example, we use Robot Framework and Jenkins together to drive these automation plans, but you can use Selenium, you can use custom scripts that you write yourself. Really the accessibility of the tools for management allow really any kind of automation that you can imagine and use the tools that you want to use to accomplish it. All told, we are performing over 100 composition actions every day across the entirety of our automation infrastructure. Without the ability to configure and reconfigure our hardware to match the application we're testing, either our daily throughput would be much lower or our hardware requirements much higher. But with the composability FabreX offers, we don't need to make that choice. The FabreX capabilities are essential for us, and it really does work. If you're interested in seeing our FabreX solution work for you and your use case, just fill out the Contact Us form on the GigaIO website, and we'll reach out to set up a live demo. Thanks for watching.